So, today we're going to break down a very specific social strategy that comes from the Guy Gambit YouTube channel. It's basically a playbook for navigating a bar, and we're just going to deconstruct it step by step using their material as our guide. Let's dive right in. And that gets us to the core question here. Can a place like a bar, which is so fluid and social, actually be gamed? Well, this playbook argues, yeah, it can. The whole idea is to stop seeing it as just a bunch of random interactions and start seeing it as a structured environment with its own rules and dynamics. Okay, first things first, let's get the lingo down. When you hear the term game or Rizz in this context, we're not talking about playing tricks on people. According to the source, it's all about a methodical, almost scientific approach to socializing with the specific goal of creating a genuine connection and attraction. Now, the entire strategy is built on one thing: preparation. The idea here is that what you do before you even walk into the bar is every bit as important as what you do inside. This is what they call the pre-game mission brief. The source breaks this prep down into 3 critical steps. First up is reconnaissance. This means you visit the bar beforehand with zero pressure to talk to anyone. You're just there to scout the layout, the vibe, the kind of people who go there. Step 2 is checking for congruence. We'll get more into that in a sec, but it's basically asking yourself, do I belong here? And third, and this is a big one, is to actually make friends with the staff. This isn't just about being nice, it's a strategic move to get social proof and basically have more freedom to move around. So let's talk a little more about this idea of congruence, because it's a huge part of this playbook. The principle is simple. You have to look, act, and feel like you're a natural part of the scenery. If you stick out like a sore thumb, every move you make is going to feel awkward and forced. You have to fit in before you can stand out, if that makes sense. All right, so once the prep work is done, the playbook shifts gears into the core principles, the actual rules of engagement. This is all about the mindset you're supposed to have once you're on the ground, so to speak. Here's a rule that sounds super simple, but is apparently critical: always +1 energy. The idea is that when you join a conversation or a group, your energy level should be just a little bit higher than theirs. So if they're at a chill 5, you come in at a 6. If they're a party mode 8, you're a 9. The logic is you always want to lift the vibe, never bring it down. And this all ties into another key term: social calibration. You can think of this as reading the room on steroids. It's the skill of making sure everything you say and do fits the moment perfectly. It's about being so in tune with the environment that nothing seems weird, planned, or out of place. You know, this playbook even gets into the nitty-gritty of your body language, like whether you're standing or sitting. Standing is framed as being open and social. It lets you move around freely and invites interaction. Sitting, on the other hand, is described as closed and private. So the strategy is to stay on your feet unless you're intentionally trying to create a more one-on-one, isolated vibe with someone. And this next quote, man, it really is the whole philosophy in a nutshell. Good game doesn't look like game. The whole point, the end goal of all this strategy and calibration, is for it to look completely spontaneous and natural. The moment someone thinks you're running a playbook on them, you've already lost.
All right, now we're getting into the real tactical stuff. This is phase 3, where the playbook treats the bar less like a room and more like a map, or maybe even a battlefield, with different zones that require different strategies.
Yep, you heard that right. According to this strategy, a bar isn't just a bar. It's broken down into 7 distinct zones. This is where all those high-level ideas we talked about get put into practice with very specific micro-level tactics. So let's break them down, zone by zone. Think of Zone 1, the outside area, as your warm-up lap. This is the line to get in, the smoking section. It's low stakes. The playbook suggests simple openers here. You can go functional, just asking a question like, hey, is this place any good? Or observational, pointing out something positive, like, you guys look like the most fun group here. Okay, Zone 2, the ordering line. The key here, and this is important, is to look like you're actually there to order a drink, not to scope out the scene. According to the source, this helps you not look predatory. Then you can just make a casual, indirect comment to someone next to you like, wow, how do you even know what to order here? Now, Zone 3, the drink pickup area. This is described as the absolute best spot to be. The move here is to just hold your ground and let people flow around you. It makes any conversation you start seem totally random and natural. And hey, this is where making friends with the bartenders really pays off, because they'll let you hang out in that prime real estate. Zone 4 is the main standing area, a really good spot, but there's a very specific rule here for approaching a mixed group of guys and girls. You talk to one of the guys first. The example given is just a simple positive comment like, dude, I love that shirt. It's all about building rapport and showing you're not a threat before you engage with anyone else. So, you've used your opener. You've started a conversation. What's next? Well, the Playbook has a tool for that. It's called a DHV story. DHV stands for Demonstration of Higher Value. It's basically a short, practice story that isn't about bragging, but is designed to subtly show off attractive qualities like passion or having a purpose, or even emotional depth. And to give you a real concrete example, the source material lays out this Van Gogh story. You could use it to shift a conversation to something deeper. You're not just talking about a painter, you're reframing his story as one about an incredible passion, about being driven by a love for his art. The whole point is to subtly show that you value things like passion and purpose. All right, let's get back to the map. Zone 5, the seating area, is basically the hard mode of this playbook. It's seen as the toughest place to start a conversation. The advice is that it's better to bring someone to a table than to approach them at one. But if you have to, the recommended move is the over-the-shoulder opener. You stand near a table, maybe with your back to it, and just casually start talking, so it doesn't look like you made a long, awkward walk just to talk to them. Okay, so after all those micro tactics and zones, we're pulling back for the final phase, the debrief. This is where we look at the big picture, the philosophy that holds this whole system together. So if we were to boil this whole thing down, what are the core rules of this game? Well, first, preparation is everything. Then it's about managing your energy with that +1 rule and making sure every single thing you do is socially calibrated. You use your posture, like standing, to keep a social advantage. And the whole time, you're making sure your game never, ever looks like game. And finally, you see the bar for what it is in this system, a map with different zones to navigate. And all of this really leaves us with one big kind of philosophical question, doesn't it? A playbook like this tries to turn social dynamics into a science, something you can repeat and perfect. But it makes you wonder, at the end of the day, is human connection an art that relies on gut feelings and spontaneity, or is it a science that can be broken down, studied, and systemized? I'd love to know what you think.